Topic. What's the topic this week then? First week of school?
No, I think that we should speak about our first home.
Our first home. Our first home or the first home that just me and you lived in?
No, not ready for that yet. Our first home. The topic will be moving into your first home.
Alright.
So, yes, other people will be able to watch and hopefully they'll be able to get help with, knowing what things to buy, knowing that you're not alone if you haven't got much. And there's things that people can take from having a topic as your first home.
That's quite a hard one, I suppose, because when we moved into our first home, we didn't have a lot. I was going through my part of life. You were going through your part of life.
Yeah.
But the beauty of that was we had £5 sofas.
Well, so we need to start from the beginning to explain. So we moved into our first home when 17, 18?
Yeah, 18. Yeah, I was 18.
Yeah, 17, 18. And then when we moved into our first home, we literally had nothing. There was no flooring, there was no carpet. The walls were magnolia, and anyone that likes magnolia literally cannot get a bored of you. The colour really pisses me off. It's not a white, it's not a yellow, it's not a fucking cream. I don't know what it is.
It's like Doris has sat there and smoked for 30 years.
But it actually gives me the ick.
Yeah. Concrete floors.
Concrete floors. It was freezing.
Ground floor flat.
Well, we're really lucky to get a ground floor flat. And don't get me wrong, the area was really nice.
It was nice when we first moved in. It was lovely.
Yeah. And then we ended up with the prostitute down the street.
Yeah, that
on the corner.
Yeah.
And then you had that. We say now, it was really nice. Obviously, it was a council estate, but it was a new council estate. So on the outside, yes, it was nice. And then once they moved all the riffraff in, there was literally old Bill there all the time. Do you remember that surveillance van that was outside there?
Yeah.
It was literally outside there all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
And then were they surveilling the prostitute on the corner?
I don't know who they were surveying because there was an arms dealer as well.
There was, right. We'll get to that, the prostitute story in a minute anyway. Brad can tell it better than me. So we moved in and we literally had nothing. And because the situation that we were living in before, we didn't have a room where we were staying really, did we? So we had to, not when we moved out, not at the point where we moved out, we didn't have a room.
No,
we were sleeping on the sofa downstairs.
Yeah, sleeping on the sofa. Any bits and bobs we did have, we stashed at. She was like my auntie, but I was also working with her fella, weren't I? And they had the spare bedroom, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
allowed us. Yeah, they allowed us.
So we were buying bits and bobs and storing
from charity shops.
Yeah. And then, but we really didn't have much. You're talking maybe a few bowls, plates.
Yeah, right. When we first moved in, it was concrete floor. We were sitting on paint pots as seats. We had a blow up bed.
And that was it.
And the curtains for a duvet.
Yeah, so the first day we moved
in,
red curtains. No, it wasn't the red curtains. It was the gold ones.
Yeah, you had the gold and red ones.
With the red flowers. They were hideous. They were absolutely hideous. If you imagine something, your nan's sofa that has all of the big, floral flowers on, and it was they were literally gold. And, yeah, we couldn't afford a duvet at the time.
Nah.
And we were both working, and I was in college, and we were barely getting by, but we didn't have the money to go out and go and buy duvet and pillow. We had cushions as pillows, and pillows, and like Brad said, we were sitting on paper pots. So anyone that's moving in or having moved in to their own place know that if you're in this position or you've been in this position and you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh my God, like I'm never going to get to where I want to be and I haven't got any money and I've got no stuff, you know,
No support.
no support. Other people have been there. Like, there's so much on Instagram now, like, oh my God, first place, like,
Yeah.
knew everything.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's not how it goes. Like, you move into your first place and a home and a house is an ongoing project.
Yeah.
Like, and our first place, so we did get Brad done the flooring, and it was this horrible beechwood flooring from B&Q, like the value pack, but we had flooring. We paid someone to do the carpet. We saved and paid for someone to do the carpet.
No. Tell done that.
Tell done the carpet, but we paid him.
Yeah, with joints.
Right, okay. We paid him.
Yeah. Joints and beer. Yeah. That's the reality of it. Yeah.
Okay.
No, he done it. He was like my boss at the time, weren't he? So like he was willing to help. And he'd done a good job with that, really, considering the room.
And then we decorated for the first time. And I say the first time because there was many more times to follow.
Many more.
And we gradually got stuff, like we were walking around town one day and our whole flat, first of all, at least for the first year, everything was from charity shops.
Not everything. Some things are off the side of the road.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But we were walking through town and there was this charity shop that was really cheap at the time, but now it's really expensive.
Yeah.
Like, we walked in and at the back there was this like old school wardrobe.
Antique.
Like, well, we say it was antique. We say it was antique because it had a lock on, like with a really old fashioned key, and it was like really dark wood and smelt like something out of the Victorian house. Like, you know when you walk into a museum?
Yeah.
That's what it smelled. It basically smelled of musky old dead people.
It's probably one of the fucking best wardrobes we've ever had, though.
But it lasted.
Solid. Yeah, it was solid. That.
So we got that for £5, and then we spotted these sofas next to it. Well, it was a 2-seater, wasn't it?
2-seater and a 1-seater.
And it was a red. I say red. It was more like red and tinges of orange, where the colour has faded, and it wasn't a nice red. It was like a musky red. And don't ask Brad to explain colours because he's colourblind.
Yeah, worn. It was worn.
It was very worn.
But it was a £5.
But it was a £5. And it was actually really comfortable.
Yeah, it was actually.
So by this point, we had our 2-seater sofa. That, by the way, we had enough money to buy the sofa and the wardrobe.
And the 1-seater. We got the 1-seater with it as well.
No, we got the 1-seater from Fresh.
No, because we had 2 1-seaters at one point.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a 1-seater for a £5 as well from the same shop that matched that sofa set. And then we got another one, separate one that was, red too, from another secondhand furniture store. So we had our wardrobe, our 2 1-seaters and our 2-seater.
Yeah.
And then over time we would grab what we could from charity shops, or if we saw things like at the side of the road saying free, we still now sometimes stop and we're like, oh, are they having a renovation?
Yeah.
And if they've got stuff outside and it's like free, especially if it's a nice house.
100%. Yeah, all the time. I mean, the best one was our first dining room table, which was one named fold-out dining room tables. And we had the best next door neighbours. They were a young couple like us, Jake and Jess, going through sort of the same thing as us, but they were a bit more established because they'd lived there a bit longer.
Yeah, like they obviously had more than us. They were
still going through the same sort of problems that we were. And that was really nice. That was what helped us survive. But I remember, like, me and Jake this was when we were going down to the food bank together, right? And I always grabbed the dry goods box, and Jake always got the fresh goods box. And what we'd do is we'd come home, We'd lay it all out on the living room floor because Jake was really snobby and I only own main brand stuff.
Heinz. And we're like, do you know what?
Fuck it, have it, mate.
The branded stuff.
We're having the unbranded
We'll have the unbranded because there's more of the unbranded and we really didn't care.
So we split it all and then like, everyone that's ever been to a food bank, first of all, don't feel ashamed.
Never feel ashamed.
Second of all, you know that there's sweet treats in it, right? So what we'd do is that night, we'd go around each other's house or whatever, weren't it? Whack on a DVD, a dodgy DVD, and we'd eat the sweet treats and the fingers and all that, weren't it? But anyway, one day me and Jake were walking back and there was a dining room table set left outside someone's house. So we brought it all back, dumped it on the girls, sorted that out. We've run down the road. Poor Jake, he's running along the road with 4. Do you remember them wooden chairs?
What, the
fold-out wooden chairs? How heavy they were. He carried 4 of them, and I carried the fucking table on my shoulder.
You probably look like you just robbed a restaurant or something.
For about a mile and a half. But we got it back.
And we didn't have the money for a cab, so you had no choice but to carry it back.
Yeah, that was the only thing to do. It's the best thing ever.
So at this point, we've got a wardrobe, a table and chairs, our sofas for like what?
Less than 40 quid.
Less than 40. We were talking like 25 or quid.
Yeah.
And like Brad said, we were using food banks at the time, and we had money to pay for our gas and our electric, and we were paying full rent, like. And anyone that has lived in a housing association house, especially a flat, will know that rent's expensive. Like, you're probably paying between, depending what area you are, between £700 to £900 a month for a rented accommodation.
Yeah.
So I was working 3 jobs in college. Brad's, getting work where he can. And we're barely making ends meet. And by ends meet, I mean paying the bills. And then you get to your food bill and you're thinking, fuck, like, I haven't actually got enough. And we didn't really have the support of we didn't really have an awful lot of friends or a lot of family support around us when we first
Our relationship with our parents and our family were broken at that time.
Was definitely broken, and anyone that's been a teenager can probably relate and understand that too.
Yeah.
So we were trying to learn how to budget, and we'd lived by ourselves for so long, but just keep a roof over our heads, just survive. We were literally in survival mode,
and at the same time, I was trying to go straight, so I couldn't just go and help myself to a basket full of groceries.
Yeah.
Which would have happened once upon a time.
Yeah. I mean, that's not,
It's not hide from it. It was part of our life.
Yeah, but let's not speak about that right now.
Yeah, but that was part of our life.
So, yeah, anyone that's ever had to use food banks, they are amazing, and never feel ashamed, because there are more people out there than that's had to struggle, and it is like, if I'm honest with you, I didn't like going in there. Like, I don't think I ever went in. I used to wait outside.
I hold no shame.
And the boys used to go in.
I hold no shame. Like fuck it. I'm not going to starve. And again, it's gonna seem like I'm a bit of a benefit hater, right? Which I'm not, because once upon a time I was claiming. A lot of people will remind me of that. But when we were going into food banks, funnily enough, a lot of the people there were working class.
Well, working class, yeah.
Because they're the ones that have to pay full rent, childcare,
full council tax.
9 times out of 10, they have to run a car to commute to work.
And at the time, when you're on minimum wage and when you're just starting out your career, and that's where we was, you're not earning more than £1,000 a month. No, let's be honest.
You're bottom tier of the ladder.
You're bottom tier of the ladder, and you're paying like your rent, which some people, that's what they pay on their mortgage.
Yeah.
So
our rent was more than a mortgage.
Our rent
now is more than a fucking mortgage.
So if if you've used them, if you're currently using them, you'll get past this hard bit in your life because it's not always that hard. It does get better if you work hard for it. You know, if you
Yeah,
you
it's
have to
not.
work hard. It doesn't just get better overnight,
No,
and
it's
you
not
can't
handed
just
to you.
sit there feeling sorry for yourself. You have to get up and you have to
The only
work
way,
hard.
the only way to get out of the pit is to dig yourself the steps to get out of it. The steps ain't just going to appear. You've got
Yeah,
to put in the work to put the steps in.
you've got to. And yeah, so we were gradually getting things. And there's been times when we went to the charity shop and like we've carried back big like mirrors to try and decorate the place. And
Yeah. That, funnily enough, we still got one of the first mirrors we bought.
we have. It's
And
been
it's up there.
painted and cleaned up, but it's a nice mirror.
It's fucking heavy, is what it was.
Really heavy. I carried that back.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah, really heavy. So, I mean, if you're moving into your first
Carried
flat,
back beds.
beds, yeah.
Remember carrying back the bed?
Yeah.
Jesus. In the trolley.
Oh my, we used to nick so many trolleys. Don't come for us, Sainsbury's. But we did used to nick so many trolleys.
Yeah, had to get home.
You have to get your shopping home. Or when we did have the money for a food shop, we don't have the money for a taxi home.
Yeah.
So we'd push the shopping home in the trolley.
Yeah. I mean,
and then we'd stash the trolley if we need it again for something else.
Yeah. So all the little things.
But yeah, like if you're moving into your first flat, just know that everything will come in time. Like you will be sitting in a shell, but you make your house a home. And things like pictures and picture frames, you can get them really cheap. Like you can even get them from Pound Stretcher, B&M, you know, you can get them from charity shops really cheap. Furniture, like Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, eBay, charity shops. Like I still love charity shops. I actually just love going out and just seeing what bargains I can find. Like I found a Hobbs coat in charity shops. I found like designer boots. I found a real Louis bag. Like
Helly
I found,
Hansen.
yeah, a Helly Hansen coat. Like I always find really good finds in charity shops. I'm a big advocate for them. I think they go to a great cause. I think, you know, these high street brands do sell clothes for a lot of money. And I think that if you can, everyone's one for like saving the environment now. And if you can save the environment and also save yourself a bit of money and put towards a good cause, then why not? And I think for your children, if you have children as well, especially if they're going to nursery or they're going to be splashing in muddy puddles or they're anything like our son and love going out, getting muddy and dirty, get yourself down a charity shop. They always have 50p, pound clothes. Or even if you're hard up, like get yourself down there because
Car boot sale.
Oh my God, car boot sales are so good. You will find some great things. And it's the right time of the year now to go to a car boot sale for Christmas decorations because I love Christmas. Like even now we'll go to car boots and we'll be scouting out the Christmas decks.
You love Christmas that much, right? Again, going back to our first place.
Oh my God, I know what you're going to say.
We didn't have any money for like decks. My great auntie had an old Christmas tree that she gave us. It didn't have like a bottom stand or anything, so we stuck it in a flower pot. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
With coal and pebbles. And then we went into the charity shops and we bought bags, and I mean bags of baubles for pennies. And one day Nick was at work and she was like, "Oh, I want to decorate the flat, blah blah blah." I was like, "Yeah, don't watch that." So I sat there. I thought, "Nah, fuck it." And I must have taped about 200 baubles to the ceiling.
They were literally, I mean, we were getting sellotape off for days afterwards. And I walked in and did it look tacky as fuck? Yes, it did.
Did it feel
but
Christmassy?
Did it look Christmassy and feel Christmassy? Yes, it did.
Yeah.
And they were just a load of ceiling decorations hanging. They were just ceiling decorations. There were baubles hanging from the ceiling because that, you know,
good.
And it was thoughtful too.
It looked good.
It did. I mean, would I let him do it now? Fuck no. Does he like ceiling decorations?
Yep.
Every year, like, you know, the foil ones, like the ones from like the 90s.
Yep.
Like he loves decorating them. And right, I say I don't like them because they don't go with the aesthetic. But
They're Christmas.
are they Christmassy? Yes.
Yeah, they make Christmas.
Am I going to allow him to put them all around the house? No. But
Does
you
he
can
do
put
it?
them in the living room this year.
They were in the living room last year. I just
Oh.
waited for you to go out.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You done it on my Christmas do.
Yeah, you fucked off out to your Christmas do. I fucking done the whole house.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, he does love them. They're like they're like your Christmas childhood.
They're childhood, yeah. Yeah, they're definitely childhood.
But your other decks can go on the windowsill.
What, the ones from my childhood?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the train can go up, that's fine. Oh, well, they all can go up. You know, you're very close to your heart, of course. I've got some lovely decorations
Just
now.
because your mum didn't save you nothing.
All right. This isn't a competition.
What?
I need to make room for my new Christmas. I need to make some room for my new Christmas scenes.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you do. Yeah, to be fair, you do. Again, car boot sale. But we're gone off topic. First flat.
Yeah, first flat. So, like, even if you're struggling, just know that others have struggled too. And I mean, now we can be picky about what we eat. And if we want, you know, if we fancy something, we can go and buy it. And if we want a new Christmas decoration, we can go and get it.
Within reason.
It's still within reason. And we still live like within our means, apart from payday weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, we've already covered that one.
But, you know, I think even if, let's say when, because Brad and I do want to push on from where we are, you know, and carry on achieving in our careers and in life in general, you know, I still think that in like 5 to 10 years' time, we will still be shopping in charity shops. We will still be, you know, going to car boots and looking for a bargain, because why not?
Well, it's our mindset now, isn't it? It's like we were saying, like we was trying to explain to a couple of our friends, like we love to go to markets and that. Nick loves to go to markets for the clothes. My main thing when I go to a market is try and find a meat man.
Yeah.
Go and find a meat man, because I eat a lot of meat. I eat a lot. And the way to do that, especially with a young family, is go to a meat man. The one that used to be in town, he was amazing.
Yeah.
He used to do a massive bag of, I shit you not, actual McDonald's chicken nuggets for like £3.
Yeah. Let's explain what a meat man is, because some people might not know. Like, you might think everyone will know. Some people might not know. So basically, a meat man is like a mobile butcher's.
Yeah.
It's literally like a man with a van that sells meat at a market.
Yeah.
Northfield Market has a massive one.
Yeah.
There used to be one in Welling. He's not there anymore. But if you see a meat man at a market, go up to them. Like, don't think, oh my God, like, it's a man on the market selling a load of meat. They're like, even a greengrocer's at a market, you can save a lot of money there too, and butchers.
Yeah, not just that. The geezer will be spouting off this and this for this much, this and this for this much. You can go up to them and cut them a deal. If you know in your head you want steak one night, you want a bit of gammon another night, and you want lamb shanks the other night, but you don't want to spend more than a tenner, go up to him, talk to him.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, he'll chuck you a deal.
And they always throw in a free pack of sausages.
Always. Or bacon.
Or bacon. Like, they'll throw in something free.
Yeah.
And butchers, like, you might think, oh my God, like, butchers are so expensive. Actually,
they're not.
They're not.
Get
They're
more
really
bang for your
cheap.
buck.
You do. There are so many ways to save money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you've been hard up, you learn these ways to save money. And then the harder you work, the more money you get. And then you still have them habits of saving money. Like, Brad and I have had times when we lived in the flat where, yeah, we'll go to food banks, but obviously we didn't have the fresh food parcel. We had we had some fresh, but we always got the cupboard one.
Yeah, we always got the cupboard one, yeah.
So to buy milk, because I love my tea, to buy milk, we would have to like look through the sofas and empty out all the pockets.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, everyone has a shit drawer.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't matter how posh you are, everyone has a shit drawer.
Yeah.
So going through the shit drawer and just seeing, you know, if there was 20p, 30p in there, just to get a little one pinter.
Yeah.
For milk. So,
I was never fussy. I could always live off the UHT one.
Yeah.
Which was always good, but it was always like rice or pasta, weren't it?
Oh my God, we lived off pasta. It's so cheap.
That's why I can't eat it now.
We lived off pasta and spag bowl. Spag bowl gives you the ick.
Yeah.
I actually really like spag bowl.
The smell of it turns my stomach.
What about that sausage casserole that I made?
That was horrific. That was just that. Never again would I eat a sausage casserole. Tried to poison me. Didn't brown the sausages up or nothing. It was just makes me feel ill thinking about it.
Yeah. What about the first meal you made me?
I was on drugs.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, that is all I'm just going to say to that. I was on drugs.
It was awful. He used tinned potatoes with what else was it?
I think it's
Tinned mince.
chopped tomatoes, frozen mince.
He didn't even drain the water out of the potatoes.
No, I didn't.
He didn't even boil them. He just chucked them all into a pan.
Yeah.
And was like, "Oh, I've cooked you a meal."
Yeah, that was horrific.
It was absolutely disgusting.
And then you went home and I went and got a pizza 7 for me and your sister.
No, you didn't. I would have been alright with a pizza 7.
Yeah, but I hadn't made my money that day.
I'm not even talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've gone through first home. We've gone through money saving in your first home.
Yeah.
Is there anything else like with your first? Oh, decorating. So
Oh God.
when we first moved in, we decorated, and then we got a damp problem. And anyone that's had a damp problem will know that no matter what you do, it will just come back.
Yeah, that's another thing. Air buddies, don't buy them. That was the cause of the damp.
Air buddies, what were they?
Do you remember? It was like a thing that we stuck up in the living room.
Oh my God, I remember that.
We used to hang up the clothes and it used to have the bag.
Yes, it was the bag. It was basically like, it was supposed to be like a tumble dryer for council people in flats.
For people in flats, yeah.
Yeah. Like it was about 30 quid.
Yeah.
And like, it was like a tripod essentially.
Yeah.
And it had the big bag on and you hang stuff on. And we would open windows and things, but...
Oh, yeah, we tried to ventilate it as much as possible, but dead of the winter.
Yeah. I
Dead of the
forgot
winter,
about that.
Young, didn't really understand the ventilation side of it properly. Like, we used to turn that on to dry our clothes.
And warm us up.
Warm us up because we couldn't afford to turn on the heating because that was running.
Yeah. Yeah. So that obviously caused damp, and there was some damp there already.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So to try and fix the damp, we would obviously sugar soap it, treat it, like wash it, clean it, and then all the paint would come off. So that then I'd be like, oh my God, we need to decorate. So then the next bit of money we got, we'd go and get new paint, and then it would come back again, then we'd be decorating again. And then your parents come around for the first time, and I remember looking at the place. Now, Brad's mum and dad, I would class as now posh, right? Well, from the outside, they're posh.
Wanna be posh.
Back in the day, they weren't so posh, but I didn't know this. And Brad's like, okay, my mum and dad are coming, and I'm like, shit, like I can't have them come into this place. And I am on my hands and knees. Why? Before I tell you this, I don't know why I was so obsessed with this, but I was on my hands and knees re-glossing and scrubbing and then re-glossing the skirting boards. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's because Brad told me that his mum was so obsessed with fucking dust and skirting boards that then I got it in my head that she'll be inspecting my skirting boards. Was she probably inspecting the skirting boards? Yes.
She still does now.
She still does now. Don't judge her. She's got OCD, okay? But I was like scrubbing the skirting boards and glossing the skirting boards and the door frames. Oh, but it's okay. The hallway's full of fucking damp. But have we got gleaming white door frames and skirting boards? Yes.
Yeah. It was that bad. They refused to do, when Grenfell happened. Obviously, when that tragedy happened, we was in a block of flats that had cladding on it, so they had people come and inspect the cladding. Then they had someone come and inspect our front door. Do you remember that?
And it wasn't fireproof.
It wasn't up to stand. It was a fireproof door because the damp had got to it that much that it was no longer safe.
Yeah.
Luckily, we moved out like 2 months after, weren't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't be like us. Don't decorate 100 times. Just
Nah.
get on the council if you're dealing with that. Like that would be my advice. If we weren't on it, yeah, or get a contractor because you can't just clean damp. There's other reasons why it's coming.
Yeah, underlying issues.
There's
the
underlying
issue
issues
with that flat was there was no damp course actually built into it.
Yeah.
And the housing association didn't want to spend the money on getting that fixed.
But let's talk. Okay, we've spoken about struggles of your first flat. So let's talk about like the fun bits of having your first flat.
Oh, mate.
Because we've had some great times in our first home.
Yeah.
Like we've had some mad parties.
Yeah.
In our first home.
Yeah, mad parties. Like again, we were so lucky to have the neighbours that we had. Yes.
Even the ones
So
upstairs.
lucky.
But we were always polite. Like we'd always say, "Oh, like we've got a few friends coming over."
Yeah, I mean, Yazoo upstairs. I remember when it was our stag and hen do, and we partied, didn't we? We really did party late into the night. We had already prepped them in the lead up to that. We went round and knocked on all the neighbours' doors. Like, look, it's our stag and hen do. We are going to have a party. We will turn the music down when we get back. Any problems, just give us a knock.
Yeah.
We'll knock it on the head, sort of thing. And I mean, the music was up loud. We did party. And the next morning, woke up heavy-headed, ready to go out for breakfast and stuff like that. Yazoo pulled me to one side and I thought, oh, here we go. Gonna get a bollocking. I did get a bollocking, but I got a bollocking for not being loud enough.
Yeah.
It was really backwards, wasn't it?
But he's Polish and he's like, you didn't have enough vodka.
yeah, vodka sausages. That was it. Like we got really close to them during lockdown, because they lived on the top floor, didn't they? And they had a young daughter. And we had like a green bit at our back doors and that.
We basically claimed it as our garden.
Yeah, that was like our garden. So like we said to him, like, use it. You know what I mean? We're all in lockdown. She can use it. We'll shut our back door or whatever while she's out there. But we all done like a social distance barbecue with them.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, it was just.
We had really good neighbours and we're lucky because we were
rowdy.
Well, I would say we were. The first year we were there, we didn't really have anybody round and we were struggling.
Yeah.
Then the second year we were there, we'd got our furniture and got our bits and bobs and we were doing a little bit better. You know, we were no longer using food bank, so that's always a winner.
Yeah.
And we still wouldn't have enough money to go out, but we would just say to mostly Brad's friends that then became my friends, bring a bottle.
Oh, when the boys
bring
used
a
to
bottle,
turn up,
and then they used to come round.
A bag of food, a bag of beer, and a bag of like whatever, and then like Pat
always used to make a potato salad.
Yeah, Pat always used to fuck off in the kitchen. Brad and music in the kitchen. Yeah, Brad and music in the kitchen. Yeah, whatever, Pat, cook whatever. all right, sweet, bro. And then everyone would get on beers. And then we'd have like a wicked night. Jake and Jess would come round. They'd have a really good night. They used to wake up in the morning. By the time we had woken up, one of the boys had gone round, cleaned up the house, didn't they? Pat was on it again for breakfast, making us all breakfast. Have our cups of tea. Boys would all get washed, and their birds would get washed and that, and then they'd jump back on the 25 back to Hampshire, wouldn't they?
I mean, we have had people. We've had like probably about 6 people sleeping on the sofa. Easily one person sleeping in the bath.
Yeah, my 21st, weren't it? I think it was like 12 people crashed out in the flat that night.
And it wasn't a big flat.
No.
You know. And the perk of living by yourself is that you don't have to worry about anybody else in the house. No. You can just, your night can just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one night, we only had a few friends round, and me and the girls used to have a drink, and then Brad and his mates were obviously boys, like, all lads, like, all, like, having banter and stuff with each other. And one night, him and his mate went up to the top of the estate.
I don't even know why we went out.
I don't know why they went out. Oh, I know. Brad said we had a little green area, so we were trying to
spruce it up
a bit, right? And we said already that we like finding the things outside. What, we didn't do, and what we don't do is just go and nick things from people's gardens. They went up to the top of the estate on a drunken walk, and they've come back with these fucking fence panels. And
not
at the top
fence panel, picket.
No, picket fence. There was picket
yeah.
fences, right? And at the top of the estate, there was this really nice. Someone spent the money and the time making this lovely flower bed, and it's like when you first come in the estate,
it was just a random flower bed, weren't it?
No, but it was really nice.
Yeah, I know, but in our eyes, it was just a random flower bed.
It was dark, and they were drunk, and they thought, "Oh, I like this fence. Right, I like this little picket fence. Let's take it." So they've come in, and I said, "What the fuck have you got?" And it's about 2:00 in the morning. And they said, "Oh, we got you some fence panels, Nick." And I said, "I don't fucking want them. Like, where'd you get them from?" And they're like the place at the top of the estate, at the top of the road, basically. And then I'm like, "Oh my God, like, you need to go and put them back." I've gone into the toilet, come back out, and they've got fucking paint. We did say we like to decorate a lot, so obviously we had loads of paint pots in the cupboard. They've got paint, and they're dipping their ball sacks in the paint and painting the picket fence. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the colour. And I'd already said, "Oh, I know why you did it." Because I said, "What good are they? Anyway, you've stolen them from the top of the estate." There was a Facebook group for the estate. And in the morning, there was definitely going to be a post saying who's nicked the fence panels. And the watchdog of the area would have walked round and seen them in our front garden. Yeah. So you said, "Don't worry, Nick, I'll paint them." Thought nothing of it.
No brushes.
Popped to the toilet. Got no brushes. So do you know what they've decided to do? Paint them with their ball sacks. Why? I don't know. Did they get splinters? Probably.
Yeah.
But you were literally like, what a mess you fucking made.
Well, I don't know. I woke up in the bath, wet.
What, with paint on your balls?
No, because you chucked me in there.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Turned the shower on. I fucking went to sleep.
And then we woke up in the morning with these blotchy fucking...
Had to hide them.
picket fences, like with balls and probably dick prints all over them, that we had to hide in a cupboard because we couldn't put them out because they were stolen and they looked atrocious.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to whoever's.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Remember when we shot your bin as well? That's why we don't have a proper bin.
What, with them fucking air rifle BB guns?
Yeah, shooting the bin.
Him and Jake, every time they'd get a new toy.
And Jack Mills.
Whose was it? Was it Jack's?
I think it was
Jack's. Anyway, boys being boys are like, "Oh, look at this new toy." And they're in the kitchen And
shooting the shit out of the bin.
they're shooting the shit out of the bin. And I walked in and said, "What are you doing?" And they said, "Oh, we needed something hard, didn't we?" Well, go over the fucking road and do it.
No, because we would have got arrested.
And you and Jake always used to play catch together too. At least that didn't wreck anything.
Always used to play catch. Always used to knock for each. Like, bearing in mind we're like 20-year-old blokes at this time. We used to knock for each other
coming out to play?
when it snowed as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Come and build a snowman, bro.
Oh yeah, you two did like going out building a snowman
Yeah.
and playing together.
Yeah, playing together. Yeah, every time we got a new motorbike or whatever, coming out. Yeah, right, bro.
I think we were really lucky to have that support next to us. Like, we were really lucky to have, you know, a neighbour that was going through similar things to us, around like the same age.
Yeah.
Having, like, we spent New Year's together. We would
Christmases.
we would cook for each other.
Yeah.
If
Me
we
and
had
Jess had
leftover,
the same birthday as well.
you had the
so-
same birthday. If we had leftover food, then we would go and take it round there,
Yeah,
and they would come take it round for us.
Yeah.
And they'd always be at the door. Even now, like when I see Jake now, he's like, "Nick, are you making brownies?"
Yeah, yeah.
I know after this goes out, when this goes out,
He's going to hit her up.
he will 100% give me a call.
He was meant to come round today as well.
Was he?
Yeah.
He will 100% give me a call and say, "Nick, you making brownies?"
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
No doubt.
Without that.
But he's like a part of the furniture now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just part of the family, isn't he?
Just family. And it was so weird because our neighbour, when we moved in, I actually knew him from when I was younger. So I met him when I was like 13. Hadn't spoken for years. And then we moved into the flat, went next door, and he was there. And I was like,
he
came round.
Yeah, so you went off to work and I was waiting in for our first fridge and there was a knock on the door. And I had a really good friend called Connor at the time. Now, again, he was like part of the family, weren't he? And he was a mutual friend with Jake next door. I didn't know this, but Connor had rung him and said, "Look, your new next door neighbour is a boy, knock on his door, introduce yourself." So Jake knocked on the door, introduced himself to me. We had a laugh and a joke, got to know each other a little bit through this mutual friend. And then when Nick had come home, I said, "Oh, next door neighbour's all right." She went, "Oh, is it? What's his name?" I said, Jake. She was like, "What, Jake?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "That bastard stole from my mum."
Oh, yeah, I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
But it turned out he didn't.
Nah, he didn't do it.
And then we become friends again.
Yeah.
But I had known him. I mean, now, God, you're hitting on what, 13, 20? Like, 15 years?
Yeah.
About 15 years. To be honest, he's my longest friend.
Yeah, that's mad.
He is. So,
Oldest friend.
So yeah, big up Jake. And no, I'm not making you brownies if you call me.
That's deep. That's deep.
No, I will.
He probably won't even watch it. He'll probably say, "Yeah, I watched it," but
Oh, we'll know now.
yeah, catch him out.
I'll catch you out. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to cover? I think we covered it all.
Yeah, no, that's basically it, really.
We were supposed to do. Did you find one? Riddle me this.
Oh, nah. I'll find something next week. I will.
You'll find some.
Yeah. I'll find some of them for next week.
Okay. So next week's episode, riddle me this.
Riddle me this. And also, for anyone that watches it, likes it, or subscribes to this, I want you to put one of your funniest jokes, funniest stories, or funniest riddle. You will get a shout out. We're going to try something new next week. So I need interaction from you guys.
So yeah, like, subscribe,
Not just Lily
share.
telling me how much she loves it.
Yeah.
But she's always going to be the first commenter. I love you for that. I absolutely love you for that. But yeah, try and do something funny.
Yeah, like Brad said, comment a funny story or a joke or a riddle, because from next week we're gonna start a new bit during the episode where we're gonna do riddle me this. We'll do it to each other. We'll take it in turns.
All
so
right. Yeah, all right. Yeah,
yeah,
I like that.
I'll say a riddle and then Brad has to work it out, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
So yeah, comment, like, subscribe, share, and thank you for listening, guys. I mean, we really enjoy doing this, and to be honest, it's one time in the week where Brad and I can get to sit down and talk, and we can kind of
watch this space, Jay. Watch this space.
Oh yeah, because he's working out so much at the moment. And obviously with a little one and working full time, we don't really get much time. So we're really enjoying this too. And the more interaction and, you know, the more subscribers and interaction we get, the bigger we can make it. So we would love that support in
Yeah. We're also going to get a few guest speakers on as well.
Yeah.
We're going to hit some hard subjects, I feel, which is going to be good. So watch this space for that.
Yeah.
And also big love, like Nick shouted out Lily. I'm going to shout out my big love to Paul Dargan. Love that bloke. He is a bloke, and Nick had a blog before this about being a first-time mum. He followed that. He's following the podcast, and he gave me some really good feedback, and I just fucking love the bloke. So big shout out to you, Paul.
Yeah. So thanks for all who's been supporting so far. And I mean, we're learning too. So
yeah, it's going to take a bit of time.
It is, and the
We're
more
just rambling shit at
subscribers
the minute.
and interaction we get, isn't that just a podcast?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
The more interaction we get, the bigger we can make it. So yeah,
We're going to be bigger than James and Fu had. Drop the mic.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share. Love you. Bye.